So anything else about training? Strength is the primary way we train for most sports in the spectrum that is not the distance events in a track meet.
Right.
The distance events in a track meet. Now listen carefully, boys and girls. The distance events in a track meet are the most specialized of all athletic events. They are the most specialized. Because of all of the athletic events that we participate in, distance events on the track are the only ones that do not specifically require instantaneous high levels of force production. Everything else does.
Yep.
Tennis, baseball, basketball, all the team sports require high levels of force production. Explosion, coordinated explosion, movement of your body quickly in an agility kind of situation. High levels of force production. But 1 foot in front of the other for 10,000 meters is another thing entirely, and it doesn't look like everything else. And yet, what does the media and what has the media for decades told the public about sports? What's running? Anytime the general public thinks about sports, what do they think?
Yeah.
Think about running.
Road work.
Road work. How many boxers have been fucked up by road work?
Yeah.
You know, why would you run a boxer down the road? What are you thinking about?
To get their legs, Rip.
What about a
Gotta get the legs.
3-minute round bears any metabolic resemblance to running down the highway?
Got to get the legs, man.
Got to get the legs.
Got to build the legs.
Got to build the legs,
Which is equivalent.
long and slow distance.
Which is equivalent to building endurance, I believe, is what they're.
Yes, that's
But
right.
look, you're talking about coaches who've been pounded in the head for 30 years or something.
and people that hadn't thought of it. People had just stopped thinking a long time ago.
Yeah. The conditioning
Yeah.
question is conditioning question is it's actually pretty simple. Because strength takes longer to acquire. It's more difficult to acquire. It's more expensive metabolically. So you're already practicing a sport. You're already doing a sport. You're working specifically in the metabolic environment by doing that sport that you need to be working in. So, but you're not gaining strength by doing your sport because you can't, right? So at least beyond the first month or so. So you have to train for strength outside of the sport, and you're going to do that with barbells. Now, in terms of conditioning, if you're weak, you don't need to do any conditioning. You need to get strong.
Yes.
And that's almost everybody walking the
your
earth.
work capacity will be improved by doing nothing more than getting stronger.
Right. So,
in other words, your endurance goes up without doing any endurance if you're not already strong.
right. Yeah. If you're weak, regardless of your status in terms of proficiency, the best thing you can do to improve performance, conditioning or otherwise, is to get stronger. If you're strong and you're unskilled, you don't need to do conditioning. You need to get better at your sport. That'll take care of your conditioning. If you're strong and skilled, which is a competitive athlete with a competitive schedule that has a high level of conditioning, your conditioning will be determined by your training schedule, and it's going to be specialized. It's going to be appropriate for you. So that's a very, very small percentage of the people who are doing any sport anywhere, anytime.